Mario. Mario, didn't you hear the cops? They'll know if you start slacking off.
He did hear them. That confirms it. Hello, Internet! Welcome back to another episode of Super Mario Sunshine. In the last episode, we got more work done around Bianco Hills. I almost said Bianco Plaza. And also, saved that lighthouse from being drowned. And now in Delfino Plaza, this man is on fire! Anyway, this time, we're going to be continuing along through Bianco Hills and collecting all the shine sprites there. So let's start. Petey Piranha strikes back. I don't know, he doesn't seem like he's striking back, more so just sleeping. Oh, how horrible! I thought we were done with this stuff! I don't even want to open my eyes to see all the slime! The lady isn't here. Where did she go? I've grown attached. Where is she? She's like my mom. That may be a little weird, but, you know, whatever. As you can see, the village is now entirely goop. Not sponsored by Gwyneth Paltrow, thank God. Yeah, so let's start washing everything a little bit. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know which NPCs do and do not give you blue coins for cleaning them in this level specifically, but I don't think most of them do. Oh, you saved me! Thanks a bundle! For what it's worth, most Piantas will say that exact line every single time you save them from drowning in the goop, so yeah, it's not a huge deal to actually bother talking to them. You're not really getting any major new dialogue by doing so. You don't need to clean the entire village in order to get the shine sprite in this level, however, I personally would recommend it on a casual playthrough at least, if you're not doing a speedrun. No shit. Not necessarily because it's, like, necessary to make the level, like, manageable, because it's perfectly manageable without cleaning all of the goop. It's more just, it makes it more comfortable to try and beat the level. If you couldn't guess, we are going to have a boss fight, and, if you couldn't have guessed by my context clues, it does take place over most of this village, so the more of it is clear ground that we can just walk normally on, the better. It's also, if you like spin in place while using the hover nozzle, Mario will just spray directly below him while spinning. This can be used to clear goop underneath you, but more often than not, you're just going to have more luck spinning with the spray nozzle. It's also possible to get a huge burst like this with the GameCube controller, which is really good for cleaning out a huge area of goop. However, since that's really loud, because you could absolutely hear my controller while I was doing that, I will refrain from doing that when it's not, like, particularly necessary, which it's definitely not in this level. Like, the most threatening thing this goop can do is have goobles come out of it. Also, when you run out of water, you could just jump in the river to refill it, but it's honestly faster to just go to the hover flood box, because you not only don't need to wait for the water to refill, but you also don't need to deal with, like, jumping out of the water. I would recommend taking out any goobles as they spawn, because eventually goobles just explode and turn into goop wherever they're, you know, wherever they explode, if they're just left unmessed with for too long. So, it's just a word of advice. I'll cut ahead to when I'm done clearing all this goop. Now that we've done all that, let's talk to this fellow who I cleaned. Oh, you saved me, thanks a bundle! And then he'll toss you. Up here. And that is our first instance of a gooble dropping a water bottle. It's a weird pickup that just restores water in... Wait, it restores floods water? it's weird in that you don't really need it because there's rarely a level that doesn't have accessible water. Granted, they are more likely to drop them in areas where there isn't accessible water, but they also tend to drop them in this level. Probably just because of the amount of goop in the level, but yeah, it's a little bit weird. There's more goop up here. It's not as necessary to clean all this, because, spoiler alert, the boss fight isn't really going to be up here very much, but still, just to get it out of the way. Alright, I think I got all of it. Just gonna clean this guy. Don't think he'll have any new dialogue, but... well, actually, they probably all do if you talk to them after.
Look, I think the big-headed monster is sleeping over there. If it wakes up, it'll probably go on another rampage. Can't we just get rid of it while it's snoozing? We just need something to bonk it with.
Well, we can bonk it with one of these things. We get the angle right. First try, okay. Petey Piranha! They fly now! Basically, for this boss, you're just gonna want to keep track of the direction he's flying in. Looks like he's going to the normal first spot. There is, like, a large amount of first places where he can start flying in place, but once he does start flying in place, you just want to spray him to make him fall. He will start shooting tornadoes this time, which will prevent you from getting close. He will still do his big head bonk when you start getting close, and he will still throw up goop with his mouth open. This boss is harder just because he's so much better at managing where you are in relation to him. If you leave him flying in place for too long, he will also just puke up goop all over the place, which, yeah, makes this fight harder. There we go. If this was a speedrun, so far this pattern has been phenomenal. Oh, oops. Almost missed it. Okay. Luckily, he will not start flying right away, so we do have a chance to get him to open his mouth again. And if a tornado hits a building, apparently it disappears. I didn't actually know that. Alright. Just want to waterboard him again, and the way this is more challenging than last time, there's no more arrow to tell you where to ground pound. We've lost a bit of water in the first couple phases, so I think I'm going to refill on that real quick before taking a look at where he's going next. You can also just pay attention to his shadow, which makes it a bit easier. But it's also harder to spray him from the ground than it is from a rooftop, so keep that in mind. It's also hard to keep track of his shadow when he's not over the ground. He's going back to his first spot. Okay. And he's leaving again. Never mind. This pattern went from being very good if it was a speedrun to being very okay if it was a speedrun. That's gonna hit that building. On the second loop, at least. Never mind. Apparently they home in slightly. Let's fill up his mouth. Alright. First two down. It's a little rough that we missed the first time, but that's fine. Come on. Go somewhere close to here, buddy. Make a speedrunner cry today. I don't think that area is one of his positions, so... Never mind, it is! This area is a little annoying because there's ploinks nearby. The ploinks will interrupt you if you're trying to fill up his mouth, so... yeah. This position sucks. Unless he opens his mouth that quickly. Okay. I mean, sure. Oh god, Mario's been engulfed! Oh, never mind. Oh god, his feet are never mind. I've talked a lot about the speedrun in this episode, and I do want to say Mario Sunshine is my favorite speed game of all time. I think it's way cooler than 64, so if you ever have a chance, I recommend checking out either a speedrun or like a documentary of Mario Sunshine speedruns, because they're so cool. The ones I'd personally recommend are the documentaries by Average Trey. Alright, well, that shine took longer than I expected, but not long enough to deter me from doing the next level, so let's go. The Secret of the Dirty Lake. Well, that's certainly a very dirty lake. This level stumped me as a kid, but we'll talk about that when we get there.
I thought we had all this cleaned up, and now this. What in the world is going on in this village?
I have no idea, man. You're sitting still for once, I see. You know, you've really done so much for us, but I wonder, will even you be able to deal with this nastiness? She's coming around. Thank God. What would I do without her? This is not the running bit I expected to come from this Let's Play. I think this guy will give you a blue coin, so I'm not gonna talk to him. And, I mean, we might as well talk to the people around the village again, just because, I mean, they're definitely the ones who would be affected by this river turning nasty, although it actually looks fine near the village.
You know, I've never seen the lake like this before.
We're playing hide and seek. I wonder where my kid sister is hiding.
I'm sure I'll find her before you.
If that lake stays like this, the town is done for.
Tragic. This town of, like, 8 people with only 4 buildings.
You're late for your throwing appointment. Come here.
Okay, so she doesn't change. I like her. I like that. I don't know. It's like so many NPCs' dialogue is like a big joke where you'll only really get it if you talk to them over all, like, 8 episodes of a level.
No, this is just too much.
True. Where is that kid's sister? Now I want to find her. I'll cut ahead to when I do. Oh, here she is. How did you get through here?
You'll never find me here, right? Don't tell my brother, hee.
I don't even know how you got down here. Does he have new dialogue if I talk to him again? NPCs generally aren't that dynamic in games like this, especially Mario games, where you can't be bothered to write more than 1 line of text per character per level, but I want to check. Yep, as expected. That's fine. Seems like the people in the village are mostly fine, even despite the river being the way it is. Which feels wrong. Like, some of them are commenting about how horrible it is, but others just don't seem to mind that much.
Since the lake's been like this, the leaf boats have all rotted. They fall apart when you get on them now. That's not good.
So, as she said, leaf boats, or as we in the real world call them, and I think in-game occasionally too, lily pads. If you spray behind you, they will go in the opposite direction of what you spray, so yeah, they control, like, boats. This one is almost fully rotted, and once they are, they start to dissolve, so you can jump to the next one. And from there, we'll just spray over here to this little cave that is clearly the correct way. Goodbye, Skeeter. We jump up here. That is clearly the correct way to go, and there is a new nozzle, which... sure. Another way to get here would be to jump down from that part of the windmill path. And you can even jump down onto that Skeeter if you're feeling really stylish, I guess, but there's nothing to really be gained. This is the turbo nozzle. Press and hold R to zoom! This is a horrible level to show this in, so, you know? I'm gonna show it! Let's go! I'll show it under the water. Because we'll only take damage by drowning. You just go very fast. You can also run on water in most levels, but that doesn't apply in the Secret of the Dirty Lake because the top of the water will hurt you. It's pretty neat. It's a fun nozzle to use. It's just not one that generally has a lot of use. Even in the speedrun, it's not used a lot, so... just spraying water and then sliding on it is generally faster just because Mario's top speed is faster than the speed you get from the turbo nozzle. And also the turbo nozzle just tends to be really out of the way. That was almost cool. And now I have to get up there without the hover nozzle. Skeeter? God damn, I'm about to die. Oh no! Oh no, no, no! That was embarrassing! First death of the LP is from showing the turbo nozzle on a level where it was absolutely not meant to be used. That's awesome. Honestly, dying there might be the most emotion I've ever had in my voice for this channel, huh? Outside of voicing characters, at least. I like to think I put a little more effort into Undertale and Pokemon White on the voice front. Okay, let's try and do something really stylish here. Jump on that Skeeter to gain extra height. Hover. And the camera messed me up, but... you can see what I mean by doing something stylish. It's absolutely possible. Okay, let's head in without the turbo nozzle. Which would be stolen from us anyway. Remember when I said some of these are evil? Welcome to the first evil one. The Secret of the Dirty Lake is one of many levels, as I said, that stumped me as a kid. I could not do this one for the life of me because these platforms have a very memorizable pattern, but when I was a kid, I don't know, I've always had, like, sort of trouble with pattern recognition. Even as an adult, I'm still not particularly good at it. And yeah, since this level almost fully relies on it, it's a lot harder. On top of that, the 3D All-Stars version actually had dev cubes from the game's development completely visible that made the patterns easier to memorize, and that was honestly really helpful to me. Until Nintendo fans bitched until Nintendo removed them in a patch. It literally wasn't a big deal and it was kind of funny, but I don't know, I think it was probably more of a sore point for Nintendo fans just because the quality of 3D All-Stars is already pretty questionable, and nobody is happy that this game was a limited release. I'm glad I could keep talking to cover my ass for that embarrassing death. There is a 1-up really early on in the level, so as long as you can get the pattern down for the first part, you can pretty consistently keep at least that 1-up as a buffer, so you're not actively losing lives in this level. However, if you get through without dying, then that 1-up serves as, like, you know, a 1-up instead of a buffer. Okay, let's not die this time. You basically just want to move in whatever direction the cube is moving. Well, the opposite direction technically, but you know what I mean. There's a second 1-up on the way up. There are generally 2 1-ups per secret level. I won't be showing where all of them are because some of them are, like, really out of the way, some of them are hard to get, some of them I don't even know where they are. Okay, we're gonna have to wait for probably the second cycle here. Once that red one flips, now we jump. Jump. This is the part of the level that really messed me up. Just knowing when to jump is really hard when these things aren't as, like, simple a pattern as the ones at the very beginning. So we're trying to get to that shine sprite. I think now I'm just do that. Okay. Only one death? I'll take it. That's better than I did when I streamed this game. That sound is so satisfying. Alright. There's one more thing I want to do in this episode, and you can probably guess what it is based on what we did after a secret level in the last episode. Heading back into the secret of the dirty lake. The lake is still dirty because we actively time travel by going back to these episodes. Things do change depending on how much progress you've made. Like, if you come back here with enough shines, you are able to talk to the Sunshades guy to get the Sunshades, but... yeah. So Mario can time travel in this game, that's canon. Either that or this river really needs, like, help. It's like Flint, Michigan. I'm allowed to say that as a resident of Michigan. Even though I'm not a resident of Flint, Michigan, and hopefully I never will be. Alright. That Shine Sprite looked really pretty over this background. Red coins in this level. I remember dying a lot doing this the last time I did, so hopefully I don't die a lot this time. 1-ups are all still here on the red coin mission, so keep that in mind, I guess. You do have to wait for these, but you can be a little more generous with the time you leap from them, thanks to the hover nozzle. That was almost bad. I don't know if I've ever actually died to those things. Well, actually, I absolutely died to those things on stream. The red coins on this thing are a little jerkish. But that's fine, because I've gotten them. Gotten all of them. And luckily there are none on the clouds surrounding this thing, because those are platforms that you can jump on. Okay. Bad idea, but that's fine because I lived. I lived, bitch. Almost didn't that time, but that's fine. Got it. Only 20 seconds and I have to get both of those. Should be fine with the hover nozzle. The hover nozzle luckily seems to give you just enough time for these platforms cycle. Not the last one, but we are over nothing, so... okay. I was gonna say, hopefully it lets me keep hovering, which it did. There's some weird stuff like that in this game where occasionally if, like, certain scenes start while you're mid-hover, it will just stop you from hovering. Luckily, getting a Shine Sprite to spawn is not one of them. With that done, yeah, we're at 9 Shine Sprites, so I say next time on Super Mario Sunshine. We head back into Bianco Hills to get the 7th and sort of final shine in the area. See you guys then.